is Failure Frame, I became the strongest and annihilated everything with low level spells worth watching. Now with a title like that, I'm pretty sure we all know that this is an isekai anime. Because I swear, right, if an isekai anime doesn't have at least 10 words in the title, they gotta scrap it, or they need to add more words to meet the quota. And I'm not gonna hold you right, in my opinion, the longer the title, the worse the anime is. It's because all my favorite isekai animes usually are, you know, 1 or 2 words. Rising of Shirohiro, Ray Zero, Sword Art. The only one that will kind of really stand out is that time I got reincarnated as a slime. But you know, that's a little different though. But the reason why I wanted to do this isekai in particularly is because right now, if you go on Crunchyroll's website and you go under the most popular section, this one's in the top 5 anime. And I thought to myself, if this anime is right next to slime, then this anime's gotta be popping. But of course, let's go ahead and look at the stats. Right now on Crunchyroll it's a 4.5, but it's 6.26 out of 10 on my anime list. Ooh, okay. That's not a good score. But honestly, those are like 2 polar opposite scores. And Crunchyroll and my anime list usually have, you know, similar scores for each anime. But fear not, as I have recently caught up to this anime. And I'm here to tell you this anime is or isn't worth watching. And remember guys, when I say it's an anime worth watching, I mean is this an anime you should put on the top of your anime list, or this is an anime that you can put on the lower end, or maybe, you know, just not watch it at all. And with that said, is Crunchyroll or my anime list more closer to what this is? And I'm here to tell you that this anime is not worth watching, bro. Okay, my anime list was correct with the rating. I guess it's from the long title, but it was right next to slime, so I thought, you know, maybe it was going hand in hand. But that is not the case with this anime. But with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and go over the plot of this anime, some of the things I did like about this anime, and then the main reasons why I don't like this anime. This anime is about this group of kids that go on a class trip. On the bus ride, you can tell that there's a hierarchy system that's going on in the class, and it's pretty much the stereotypical, the popular kids bully the losers. Which, okay, that's bad. They're not losers, you know, just the people that, you know, they can't carry themselves, okay? That's better. So Astro, stitch that together so, you know, it makes me look good, right?
No, I don't think I will.
However, in this situation, the one getting bullied is the class rep, and nobody was really trying to stand up for it. That's until our main character Toka decides to step up, which is unusual for him because he's normally the kind of guy that sits back and just watches from a distance. But the situation diffuses and the class rep is happy that Toka decided to step up for it. Later on, a glowing light shows up and the whole bus and everybody inside of it gets transported into another world, in which a goddess appears before him, and she gives a typical isekai speech about how she needs their help to fight off, you know, the demon lord and all that kind of good stuff, right? And that each one of them has a special gift inside of them. And to see what everybody's ability is and their power level, she has a magical orb that lets them know what rank they are. And so as everybody goes through and finds out their ranking, our main character shows up and let's just say my man's unlucky. He got the lowest rank that you could get. That is rank E. Once the goddess saw that, our main character was pretty much dead to her, while the others' rankings started to get to their heads. Because one of the students turns out to be a higher ranking than the teacher and he instantly stops listening to him. Because why would an A rank listen to a D rank, right? Once everybody got their rankings, she says, alright guys, now we gotta get rid of the garbage. And that garbage obviously being our main character. Not only was his ranking the weakest, but his skill was technically the weakest as well, which was pretty much giving people ailments. Things like poison, sleep, paralysis, confusion, you know, pretty much stuff that doesn't deal any physical damage. And so she sends him off to the ruins of disposal, where the survival rate is pretty much 0. But if he does manage to survive, then he's free to do whatever he wants. And right before he was about to get sent, one of his classmates comes down that used to get bullied. When our main character thought he was about to get a helping hand, this dude looked at him like, don't you dare touch me, bro. I'm a higher rank than you, okay? Maybe in the previous world, I wasn't anything, but now I'm a somebody, okay? You gotta respect that. And so all of them, except for the class rep, pretty much said, hey, take him away. You know, we don't care anymore. And so before he leaves, he says, listen, I'm gonna make it out of this dungeon alive, and I'm gonna individually bury all you guys into the dirt. Okay, he didn't say anything cool like that. You know, he's not that cool. But you guys get the gist. He's gonna put them all 6 feet under. And he gets sent to the dungeon, where normally he would die, but again, guys, this is an isekai, and so even though he does have the weakest kind of, you know, skill, he's gonna make it work to where it's OP, which is exactly what he does. All the monsters in there are powerful, but he told himself that he wasn't gonna give up, and that he's gonna at least try before, you know, it gets taken out. And so he finds out that he's able to paralyze him and then poison him. And with that combo, he's pretty much starting to clear the dungeon. And he's leveling up like nobody's business. And as he's working his way out of the dungeon, he runs into an old group of people that was summoned into this world, and he pretty much acquires some forbidden spells and some notes of how to defeat the final boss of the dungeon, which is the Soul Eater. Skip along to where he does fight the Soul Eater. He learns that it has a weakness of loving to see weak people running around being frantic and begging for their lives, and he pretty much gave her that. And so with her guard down, he was able to kill her and pretty much escape the dungeon, where now he's free in the world to go get his revenge. But obviously he can't do it by himself, and so he goes out and finds a companion. Now I'm gonna stop it right there because that's pretty much the gist of what this anime is about. Now before I get into the reason of why I like this anime, if you guys are still watching this video right now and are enjoying it, if you guys can do me a big favor and hit the subscribe button. We're currently on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and right now we're at 192, or at least when I'm recording this video. And with the power of friendship, I know we can get there, right? And much thank you to those who are already supporting me right now. But let's get back to the video. So now let's talk about the things that I actually did like about this anime. For starters, I think the plot was actually kind of solid. I mean, granted, with the isekais, I scaled them on a different basis than I would normal anime. You know, a lot of isekais tend to be, you know, the same kind of thing, where the main character is a loser in one world or a nobody in one world, and they come into this world and they're OP and they gotta take out somebody. But this one is a revenge story, and I'm a big sucker for revenge stories, okay? I'm always about getting the get back. And so the fact that the goddess didn't even like, you know, try to work with him, and none of his classmates even stood up for him, like, my man has a reason to be hateful. And because it just shows how quickly people can change once they get a little bit of power. And as you watch this anime, you start to see the main character slowly kind of start to change as well. In the beginning, he was kind of weak, thimble, you know, didn't want to fight, to a guy that's low-key always about the action. Cleverly figured out a way to do status ailments to people and to monsters. It's almost foolproof, which, you know, I'm not gonna hold you. If I was in that dungeon, I probably would have just freaked out, you know what I mean? It's easy for them to make an edgy character where they just go around and just kill everybody and everything, but my man's kind of has a moral standard. He won't just kill just to kill, you know what I'm saying? He needs like a good reason to take you out. And he's not afraid of deceiving people, because there was one time where he was clearly at a disadvantage, and you know, his journey could have ended right there. But he deceives a man and says, hey, I know you're looking for a challenge, come back. I'm gonna get stronger. I'm one of the heroes from another world, definitely gonna get stronger, more powerful, and don't you want to fight me when, you know, I've kind of leveled up a little bit? And the guy said, you're right, and he decides to leave. But as he's leaving, our main character said, psych, hits him with that paralyze and poison combo, and he's cooked. Our main character's not trying to have an obstacle in the future, which again is something I can appreciate of this guy. And so with all that, you might think that, hey, this anime may not actually be that bad. But let's talk about the reasons why I don't think this is worth watching. And that's because really two things. One, the anime is very predictable, and two, animation. Okay, honestly, you know what? Let's just talk about the animation. I feel like that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I would not recommend this anime for anybody, even if you do like isekais. Because guys, I have not seen anything like this in anime. So I'm used to monsters being in 3D, or characters in themselves being 3D, or maybe like the crowd being 3D, but I've never seen it to the point where a character will be doing something, right? Walking or just talking or whatever. But then the moment he does a verb, I'm talking he sits down, stands up, he wants to go open a book or something, they switch it from 2D to 3D. And then they switch it back to 2D, like, bro, I don't get it. And it's honestly annoying to watch. And eventually you just like getting tired of just looking at it. And let's not even talk about him fighting the Soul Eater. When the Soul Eater pops out the wall, bro, it is atrocious. Look at the way the wall breaks down. I've seen better bowling animations, you know, when you get a strike or a spare, than what I was seeing in the anime. Plus, like, the weird goop that was coming out of his mouth, and just like the way it just shaped, like, I honestly just couldn't watch it. You know, it's just ugly. I don't know how to say it. It's just ugly. And then we can talk about the pacing. Our main character and this girl who is on the cover of the thumbnail, meaning that she's probably an important character, he was starting to get to know her, as well as try to figure out more about the world, about the city, about how the trades work and all that kind of stuff. He was gathering information. So from the moment they started talking until the moment she finished showing him around and doing all that kind of stuff, it was only like 1 or 2 minutes. Usually that's like a good 5-minute section of the episode, because again, we need to find out more about this world too, right? So they gotta give the big explanations of what's going on. But with them, they sped run through it. It's just bad to watch, okay? And if I can't watch an anime, then I'm not gonna recommend it. Which you will not notice this in the first episode, because the first episode was decent for, you know, what it was. But as each episode kept dropping and dropping, I was like, bro, what am I watching? And it got to the point where, like, after the 4th episode, I was ready to dip. However, I also wanted to see if it would pick up, you know, because I don't want to say, hey, the animation is bad, it's trash, it's horrible, but then the second half of the anime, they locked in. Which, spoiler alert, they don't lock in, okay? It just can't get, the latest episode was trash too. Even though the plot's kind of there, you know, the execution ruins it. Which also, let's talk a little bit about the plot itself. It's very predictable. A strong enemy will show up, our main character will show up, and he handles it. That's it. He may have trouble thinking of how he's gonna do it, but at the end of the day, he's gonna use the same combo, which again, was great that he thought of, but that's pretty much all he does. And then his friend is supposed to help him be like a sword, but she's kind of useless. When it comes to actual battle, she's like Sakura. She's not putting up the numbers. So with the plot being predictable, and I can already tell you that this is gonna be one of those animes where he's just gonna be able to beat everybody. He's not really gonna like struggle for real. It makes the anime boring, because we know the moment his classmates show up, he's gonna beat them easily. They're gonna be like, what? what? It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, it takes the fun out of it. I like to see a little bit of struggle in these kind of animes. While this anime did show some promise as an isekai, to me, it fell flat with the plot, and the animation, again, is trash. Like, yo, I know I keep saying this, but I cannot say it enough. It is bad. Like, this is horrible. With that said, let me know if you guys have watched this anime down in the comments, and tell me what you think about it. And once again, guys, please refrain from spoilers. And I'll see y'all next time. Stay weaving.